Hello everyone and welcome back to Integration Ninjas. In this tutorial, we are going to explore the basics of continuous integration and continuous deployment with GitLab. Before we dive into GitLab CI/CD, let's briefly discuss what GitLab is. GitLab is a complete DevOps platform that provides a single application for the entire software development lifecycle. From project planning and source code management to CI/CD, monitoring and security, GitLab offers everything you need to collaborate and deliver high quality software efficiently. Now let's focus on GitLab CI/CD. In today's fast-paced software development landscape, teams are constantly looking for ways to streamline their development processes, improve code quality, and deliver features to users faster. That's where continuous integration and continuous deployment or CI/CD comes in. GitLab CI/CD is a powerful tool that automates the process of testing and building and deploying your code and help you deliver high quality software with speed and efficiency. These needs to be configured in a .gitlab-ci.yml file which defines stages, jobs and actions, what steps are going to be executed, and these particular jobs will be running on some runners. We can assign different runners to each job, and these GitLab runners will by default running on the Docker images. Like it will be running on the Docker images. GitLab runner is nothing, just a Docker image. There it will run. We can create our self-hosted agent as well, like self-hosted runner, and GitLab also provide the agents runners that we can use there as well. And by default, those runners will be running on the Ruby image, Docker only, but with Ruby image. So if you are working on different technology like Node.js, Python, you need to specifically define that image that you are going to use that image, and it can be trigger on, like there are certain rules and regulations can trigger on the commit or some push to another branch or on the pull request. It can be trigger on any event, and it gives real-time visibility like within GitLab interface, like monitoring and the security things and the pipeline visuals, logs and everything. So this is about the GitLab thing. Now let's move to the hands-on here. So in this tutorial, like we will mostly cover everything like basics of GitLab that we can continue to like learn on this. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a GitLab CI. We will try to trigger some jobs suppose build job, and for this Node.js project, how we'll trigger that we'll see. Okay, we'll try to create a image we are going to create a CI/CD which will build the image, Docker image, from this Docker file of this Node.js application, and we'll publish it to Docker Hub. But before that, we'll see how we will proceed. First, we'll create a normal scenario, then we will do that Docker deployment. Okay, so let's go to the code here. This is just a code, and this is a Docker file. We will just going to build that the simple Docker file. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new file .gitlab-ci.yml. that's it. And here we need to define few jobs. We need to define first of all, if you want to define some stages, so let's configure here. You can directly configure here as well. You need to go to build and pipelines, and you can create a new pipeline itself here, like pipeline editor, and configure pipeline, and it gives us a basic schema like how the jobs will look like: stages, build, test, deploy, and all these things. So we can utilize this and we can continue our this CI/CD process here. So similarly, we are going to define some stages. Let's say those stages will be we are going to build, test and deploy, we are going to add. And for that, now once the stages has been defined, this will be running in this order: build, test and deploy. Now we are going to define the build job. Okay, so build job will be part of the build stage, and suppose we are just echo this as of now for the first job, then we are going to write the multiple things, and suppose this will be our test job, and this will be running on the stage test, and we are just running the test cases, nothing else. We are just echoing in, and we'll see the behavior, how the GitLab CI will work. And another will be the deploy job. So deploy job will be part of the stage deploy, and we'll just deploying the application. By default we are not assigning any tag. We can assign some tags also here. uh, Here we can assign some tags which can be any runner name here, like I can assign like my MacBook or Windows or Linux system. We need to assign some tags, and we can assign a tag like that it should be triggered only on the main branch or something like that. So first of all we'll just trigger this and see. By default GitLab will try to pick up the runners available in the repository, like which is available by GitLab. So here if we go to the CI/CD section, we can go to settings and then CI/CD. We can just leave this, and here we click on the runners here, and by default the runners are like enabled by default for our repository, and we can see these are the available instance runner. These are GitLab hosted runners, Windows and Linux. These are like multiple, they have some specific tags as well, GitLab org, Docker, and some other, like these are the runners, available runners. So GitLab will pick up a runner based on the availability here, and it will queue up the job. So let's commit these changes and let's see. Git add dot and git commit. We'll just commit this test CI/CD, git push, and let's see how it is running. We can go to the here build and pipelines. We can open a new tab, and we can see the some job is started running, build, test and deploy job. So these are the jobs we have created, and these are the stages. So let's see the build job here. So as I said, like GitLab is running on the Docker image, like these runners are basically nothing but a Docker container image which is running, and by default it is running on the Ruby image. And now this is completed, and similarly others will be completed. So let's go back and click on this pipeline and test job and deploy job, same thing, and this will also be running on this. So if we see here now on which runner it is running, we can see the runner ID here. This is the runner, and we can see here if this runner is here available. So okay, so this runner was picked up here for this particular job. So we can identify like which runner is being used here, and same, like we can click on jobs as well, and we can see the running job. This is the deploy job. So this will keep running. Now let's focus on writing a real scenario that we are going to build the image of our Node.js application, and we'll deploy, like publish it to the Docker Hub. So instead of deploy, I will just name it as publish, and it will be like publish job. Okay, and this will be part of publish. But now if I want to like install Docker here, but by default Docker will not be installed in the system, so we can see that step by running one command here, docker build -t and this. So before that we can just, this is our build job, and what we need to do here, we can just building the application, and we can add some logs here. I need to write multiple scripts, so I can add a pipe here, and I will just remove this dash, and I can continue on writing multiple lines here. And now we need to log into the Docker Hub, because we need to build the image and we need to publish there, right? So that we can do here. Instead, like we don't need to do here itself, because we don't need to publish it. So what we will do, docker build -t and the name of our repository, that is integration ninjas. Then the repository name is nodejs-app. So you can create a new repository here, create a repository with your namespace will be integration ninjas, and I have added nodejs-app which is already there. So you can create similarly public or private based on your requirement. And this is I'm building the image here. So once the image is built, we'll try to, okay, now let's first see this behavior, because Docker is not there by default in this system. So what we can do here, we'll see. So let's first try that. Git commit -m test cicd with docker git push. All right, so now we'll wait for this jobs here. Let's click on the job section and we can see the job has been started. Since this is running in the Ruby image, Docker will not be present by default, because this is also running in the Docker container, and in Docker container we need another Docker where Docker CLI should be installed. So we need to have some images like that. We can see docker command not found. To enable that, we have some settings in the docker image GitLab run GitLab runner in docker container, GitLab docker in docker, yeah, this one. And we need to use this docker in docker here, which allows us to like execute, like build our application in docker with this. So let's use this configuration here, the docker image and the service and this before script. So let's go to our code here, and this default is like by default it will be picked up. So this is not part of, like before executing any stage it will be picked up. And yeah, before script we can just log it as like starting, that's it, nothing else we want. And each job needs like a script tag. Actually, either it should be before script or after script. We need to assign some script, right? So in the stages we have built here, we are building the image. Now what if I want to upload this image to GitLab artifact? How I can do that? So here this is wrong actually. We'll just need to add dot also. And I want to save this image. To save this image, I will just add this integration ninjas -nodejs app, the image name, and then I will save into the tar format like image.tar, and I will upload that is as artifact. So GitLab like produce some artifacts, job artifacts, which will be available. Like suppose you want some data, like you are building an application, you want that result, that file in the another job, you can upload it as artifact and you can utilize in another job. We'll try to access that as well. So let's see this. We are going to use artifacts keyword here, and artifacts we can see we have some, we need to give some paths there. We can see here we need to give some paths, that is like we have saved already image.tar in this current directory only, because we have saved this file here with the image.tar. And once this is done, we need to assign some time limit, that after how much time it should be expire. So I will just name it as expire in like 1 week, or probably 1 hour, probably 1 hour. I can add this, or you can add 1 week as well. So that is the build job. And now another thing is we need to run the unit test now. So for unit test, I will run two type of test cases. Suppose unit test and integration test both. So I will just name it as unit test instead of test job. It will be part of this, and here This will be, if we see the package.json, we have this start test integration test, but they're always just echoing the statement, nothing else. But we will run it via npm command, that npm. So we'll see like how node will work properly in this Docker. Earlier we have used the Docker in Docker here. Now we are going to execute with node image. So we'll build that here. So for that we are going to use a image that will be the same image we can use that we have in the Docker file, this node alpine 3.18 node 20. So once this is there, this unit test job will be running on this node image and the Docker image will be overridden. So this will be running on the node, and here in the script we need to run npm run test. That's it. And same we can replicate to like run the integration test. Both will be part of the this job, test job. Okay. And so here instead of unit we'll just write integration test, and here we can just run this integration test directly, npm run integration test. That's it. And we are done with the two stages here. And now we have another job is publish job. So in publish, what we need to do, whatever the result we have uploaded as artifact, we will pick up that and we'll upload it to the Docker hub. Okay, so publishing the application, and here instead of writing multiple scripts, so better like we'll go with this. If you have to write single line script, then you can use this dash. If you have to write multiple line scripts, you can like add this pipe symbol and you can continue in the next. Okay, and just after this script what you can do is this is part of publish job, and in the script we have to log into the Docker hub, Docker login, and then -u and the -p, the username and the password. So this Docker username, like it should be like don't want to reveal these details. Like I know like this is the integration ninjas only, but if you want to keep it a secret, right? So Docker username and password you can just add in the GitLab CI/CD variables. So if you see this section here, this settings and then CI/CD, we have section here as variables, where we have two variables, Docker username and the password. So I will just try to create a new one and will show add variable, and here we can just remove the protected variables. If we keep this, it will be available only in the protected branches, and we'll just give a name to Docker username, and that will be integration ninjas. All right, and we can just add this variable. That's it, and this variable will be accessible across all. We haven't masked this, actually we can have masked this as well. Okay, but let it be. So okay, let's mask that better, like it should not be like accessible. Let's click on again and we can mask this. So if we mask this, value will not be available in the logs. So let's write it again. Done. So this is done, the variable is added. Similarly password you can add, and this will be accessible here once we log in. Now what we need to do is we need to like extract that image that we have added as artifact, right? So for that we need to use this command docker load and the image name that we have executed. This image we have uploaded as artifact, that is image.tar. So we'll load this image that we have saved, and that will be docker load, and it will be image.tar. all right, and then we are going to push this to we can just use $docker username instead of this here, and then nodejs app. and we'll give the as tag latest. All right, and it will be only applicable on the main branches. Like if something is pushed to the main branch, then we want to publish it to the Docker hub. That's it. Like my main, I think I have main branch, so that was the one thing here. So there are like many rules and regulations you can add to your branch. Like this is one of that. Only main, we can have add any other branch name. All right, so let's try to run this. Okay, we need to just commit this details, git commit -m, and then test publish image, and then let's push this. All right, and let's go to the pipelines again, and we can see the now we can see the two jobs in the test, integration and unit test, because we have added same stage name here. Like stage is same for these two jobs, so it will be appear like this, and this is published job, all depend on one another. This will be running parallelly. So let's focus on the build job first, and let's see what is happening there. So we can see they're using Docker with image Docker now. Instead of Ruby, it is the Docker image now. Okay, there is some issue that with digest Docker syntax error, quoted string. Let's see what is the issue. Integration ninjas nodejs -app, and then this dot symbol. It looks pretty fine. Docker build, something is missing here probably. We can see that using Docker image, echo cleaning up this file, using Docker image with digest syntax error. Okay, probably some issue, we need to figure that out actually. So here we have building the application, and then we are building docker build -t integration ninja /nodejs -app, and then this dot, and we are saving the image like that. This seems to be working fine to me, but there could be some another problem. So let's try to Google this scenario. So when this error comes, we can see Dropbox, or like probably cleaning up. Let's see the other jobs status, pipelines, and yeah, this is failed and other jobs has not been executed. So let's go back here again, and here instead of building the application, here we are doing the building the application. Then we are using docker build -t. You can do one more thing, we can log in here as well. We can log in here, and we can utilize this name that we have stored there, and we can use this, and similarly we can use this docker save. All right, seems to be working fine to me. So let's try it again. Actually, if there is some issue, we'll see it again. So let me just publish this, like push this changes, and we'll see again. All right, and let's go to the pipelines here, and we can see the job is running, and this time let's see if it is working fine or not. So this is started running using Docker executor with image Docker 2405. Okay, this is taking a little time because it will build that. Okay, again some error with this. Okay, this is starting and seems like okay, probably this we have added some double quotes here and started of this, that was causing the issue. Earlier we were not able to identify that, but these are like some silly mistakes that we follow, like we do like when creating this YAML files. So now it should work properly, I guess. So let's see, because it was already a script and we are adding another script which was like not even executing the scenarios. So this should work this time properly, I suspect. Whole our code will work properly, I think, this time. So let's see. Okay, this is running and this is running on the Linux runner AMD 64. Using Docker executor with image. All right, is it progress or okay? Yeah, it is in progress. We can see like the Docker image has been uploaded and this is uploaded as artifact. We can see the image here in the browse section, job artifact, and this is available image.tar, and these are the artifacts. They will not be not deleted even if expired until newer artifacts are available. So these are the things here, and we go to the job section again. We have couple of jobs, unit test and integration test. So these jobs will be running on the node image because we have specified the node image in these jobs, that it should use the node image. All right, and yeah, this is completed. And similarly we have another job which is integration test, which will also be running on the node image, we can see here. All right, and another we have is the publish job that we can see now. The publish job will be running on the Docker image because the default configuration is for Docker script, Docker image, that will be used throughout this application. Here we need the Docker command. It will log into the Docker hub and will load that image that we have saved here, and it will push the image to the Docker hub. So let's see. In the Docker hub we can see like the last image has been updated 2 days back, so it will be published a new image. Okay, this is completed. We can see the image is being updated here a few seconds ago. So yeah, that's the way like we can continue on this. Now let's we have added one condition, right, that it should be only triggered on the main event. So let's try to create a new branch. If we create a new branch, that time automatically few jobs will be started, the build and this unit test, but publish will not be started because we have added some rule there that it should be only on the main branches only. So let's try to create a new branch here. Let's give a name it as dev, and let's create a branch out of it. And in the pipelines we can see the job has been started and there are only two stages, build and running. Initially, like, I don't want to run this because it's of no use. It was just for a testing scenario. With these stages has not been executed, publish is not available here, so I'll just cancel these things since this is not required for our use case. And now like if you want to learn more, we have one more scenario that we go to settings here, like we already have on this. We can register the self agent runner as well. Currently we are running on the GitLab hosted runners. Now we can create our own runners as well. We can see project runner. This will be a project runner. So let's try to create a new project runner. We can click on the registration token and the runner installation and registration instructions. All right, so my system is the Mac one, so let's try to create with this. There are some instructions actually, we can follow this and our runner will be registered here. Okay, so let's try to create a new runner and try to execute some of the job with that runner tag. Okay, so let's open a terminal, and you can like follow if you have Linux system, Mac OS, Windows or Docker, you can follow these instructions, Kubernetes and the AWS, everywhere. So let's focus on the Mac OS as of now. We can follow this and let's download this probably somewhere where it will download. Okay, it will download there. We need to give some passwords here. It is being downloaded here and we need to give it permissions to execute this GitLab runner. Let it download. Then we have given the permissions and now this will be done, and register the runner below. Rest of the commands execute who will run the runner. Then run cd colon this and let's go to GitLab runner install. Okay, the runner is there now. GitLab runner start. So this will be probably started, but we need to register the runner also. So let's try to see if we can see any runner or not. Probably that will not be registered, we will not be able to see that. We need to register that. So let's click on this Mac OS again and we will just register it. We'll stop that and we'll try to register this. The GitLab instance URL is gitlab.com. Token will just keep it. Enter a description for runner, that will be just a Mac. Enter the tags for runner, let's give a tag as Mac, and enter optional maintenance node for runner. I will just enter it. That's it. And enter an executor, shell, PowerShell, Kubernetes, Docker. So let's give it as shell as of now. And that's it. Our configuration is completed. Now we can run this runner. Okay. Now let's try to see if the runner is there. Runner is active here. Now what we can do, we are going to run the same thing here. We are not going to upload it as artifact, like don't want to upload it again and again, and we are going to just build this, and we are going to run this unit test instead of Docker image. Let's let it be on the Docker image. Okay, we'll just comment this out and we will run it on the our system, that it should be will give a tags as it will be the Mac, the runner tag name, and it will also run here as only. So that's it. Here let's comment this out. Let's commit these changes. Git commit running with the self-hosted runner, project runner. All right, let's go to the pipelines here again. We have this pipeline sections here already. This is started running, and this is the build job and this is the integration job. Let's wait for this job to be completed. It will install this Docker in Docker, and then it will try to create the Docker image. This time it will not upload to artifact because we have commented out that artifacts code. Okay, and Probably this will fail because the image.tar will not be present in the artifact. So we'll see that. Maybe like it will be accessible. But we are primarily focusing on just running this on the our this test case only. For this, let's go to the pipelines again and let's see. And in the runners we can see the integration test has started running on the, okay, so this is running on the system which is my system. This is Mac. Since I don't have npm installed here, so this is failing, but this has picked up the job perfectly. So this was the scenario here. If I have to like Mac npm should be installed in my system, probably it's not there, so that's why it's not picking up. Npm is not there in my system, and here the publish job will not be triggered. So these are the scenario. You can create a new runner and you can utilize this. You can create your self-hosted runner and you can utilize and assign this to particular job like this, and you can start executing this. Yeah, so that's it all about we are wrapping up our journey into the world of GitLab CI/CD. I hope you now have a better understanding of how it can revolutionize your development workflow by automating repetitive tasks, catching bugs early, and enabling rapid deployment of code changes. This GitLab CI/CD empowers teams to deliver like softwares faster, more reliably, and with confidence. This is not just a tool, it's a mindset that it will help us to in automation, CI/CD, and many other things that will help us in the building the software like faster. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on software development, best practices, tips, and tutorials. Thank you. Have a good day.